to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back on this snowy Sunday morning. We are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And joining me today is Jeremy.
Good morning,
We
everybody.
haven't given you a nickname yet, have we?
You know, I don't need one.
But everyone gets a nickname. Everyone that takes a class from me kind of gets a nickname. They just don't realize it yet because I don't remember what anyone's name is, really. So anyhow, I called you this morning last minute because I'm frankly just tired of doing the podcast by myself. I need to mix it up a little bit. It's really hard. I'm always right. When I give the podcast myself, I'm always right. I got no pushback. I got no feedback. I've got nothing. And I can take an hour's podcast and get it done in like 15 minutes.
I mean, it works.
Yeah, but
You can't sit and argue with yourself.
I do, though. I'm married. That's what I do. So let me ask you a quick question. Actually, I'm just thinking about this because occasionally I will be in town because you help me in a lot of classes. Well, at least once a month, right? And so, I mean, people are getting to kind of maybe recognize you. Do you ever, when you're out and about in town, have you been recognized by anyone in class? Yeah, someone that's come up and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And just started randomly talking to you about guns or their permit or shooting, and you're like, they walk away, and you're like, I don't know who that person was.
Not that I can think of, unless they're people that I already knew prior.
Gotcha. Okay.
It seems like at least every class there's somebody that I know.
I know. I've noticed that.
It's kind of weird.
You
but,
show up and you're like, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, I get out and about and in the vending world, so
Gotcha.
I see a lot of people. I know a lot of people, and
Yeah.
my wife gives me a hard time for it because she can't take me anywhere without me
Knowing
being
somebody.
like, "Oh, hey, buddy." Yeah, it's.
Do you have those people ever walk up and talk to you, and you're like, even though you haven't been in class, you're still like, I don't know who you are. Or is that just me? Is it just me? Am I the only rude one in class?
It happens sometimes.
Okay. I feel like I can't. I don't know what it is, man. I feel like I'm not even that old. I'm only like 48. But I feel like I can't remember stuff. Like there's more and more stuff I can't remember.
Little details keep slipping away.
Dude, I take so many notes throughout the day. It's insane. And then I forget where I put them in my phone. And
Yeah, I've resorted to doing that and using my my phone calendar a lot more. I didn't used to have to do that. And,
yeah.
And over the past couple of years, it's gotten worse.
I have to for my business. And if I talk to someone on the phone, I'll tell them when we're talking on the phone, I'm like, hang on just a minute, I'm multitasking. If I don't put your name on the list or I don't block this in the calendar like right now, you're going to show up and Todd's not going to be here or someone else is going to be here doing a class. And yeah, I can't remember nothing, dude.
I went through and put all the dates for the men's class in the other day.
Did
I
you?
was like,
Okay.
I'm gonna forget because it was easier when it was 2 Wednesdays a month.
Yeah, I tried to separate them the best I could, but sometimes they have a permit class
or holiday falls.
Oh, holiday falls, and I tell people in these classes, these academy classes, because I get it every year. Someone in the men's class or someone in the women's class, typically they'll be like, "Okay, so it's every other week," and I'm like, "No." No, sometimes yes. I said we're good until we get one of those 5-week months.
Yeah.
And then it jacks it all up. And just when it gets back on schedule again,
there's a holiday.
4th of July.
Yep.
Bam, there it is right there.
Thanksgiving or Christmas or
Yeah,
gets
or
in there.
Todd's birthday and we just schedule around that. But yeah, no, so I tell people twice, whatever. It's that follow the dates. What we do is that's fluid. The dates are solid, but I've already had to cancel one of my first women's classes of the year, the very first one.
Oh no,
because of that snowstorm on Thursday.
Oh, you know what? I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't really want to start the season off by canceling a class, and I held on to the very last moment. But
I think a lot of them were grateful.
No, they
not have to drive.
I got the text. Thank you, and I'm like, Yeah, my wife told me I should have canceled like the day before.
I had a group of friends. We went out to Pomerelle and went skiing that day.
Oh.
And, the drive home was interesting.
Oh, it was blowing. It
was kind of miserable up there. I mean, we had fun, but we get out maybe once a year.
Skiing, snowboarding. What do you do?
I ski. They snowboard.
I don't
took my son with me. He had a blast.
I don't like either.
It's not for everybody.
No, I mean, I'll go. My wife loves to do it. And she takes our kids, and I've gone before, and just like when they go up to like Magic or something,
right?
I'll go.
You go tubing.
I don't even. You know what? I don't even want to do that. The older I get, the less I want to break myself.
I ski like an old guy. I just nice and gentle down the mountain. I think I ate it a couple of times just because you couldn't see, and you'd hit some powder that you didn't know was there because it's blowing, and it was a little rough, but.
Well, quick story. So and then we'll get to firearms, right? I like to get off in the weeds sometimes. This is a couple years ago. I went up there and I was just like, my wife wanted to go ski. She was taking my youngest, which son? I don't know which son. One of my sons. And for the first few years that they ski or snowboard or whatever it is they're doing, she always makes them start on the bunny hill for a while, like get back into the groove. And my son, he's a little older. I don't need to do that, rah, rah, rah. And he did. And anyhow, I'm sitting there and I'm not skiing. I don't have ski clothes on. Like I look like an old farmer. Like I got my hunting boots on, my thinsulate boots, and I've got like insulated coveralls and a hoodie, and I'm just sitting there on that little bench right at the bottom of making sure my kid doesn't plow people over, and if they're young enough, I'll chase them down the little hill, just to keep them on track, right? That's my job. And I'm sitting there, and my other son comes up, and he's like, "Hey, you want to try this?" And I'm like, "No." And this other guy's sitting right there, and he's like, some about my age maybe. He's like, "You should try it." And he's like, "I got this board. It'll fit you." I'm like, I'm like, on the where? He's like, I was like, up there. He's like, no, on the bunny hill. I was like, okay. I didn't have boots really. I had my hunting boots, but he goes, no, those will fit in here. And so my wife comes down. She comes down. I'm riding the little magic carpet thing up to. I suck. I'm bad, and my kids are just laughing. The guy's laughing. I'm trying to get down the bunny. I'm like, whoosh! I'm falling. I'm out of control. I'm hurting. My back hurts. I think I dislocated a rib. But I did this for like half hour. And I felt kind of bad because my wife comes down. She's like, "Did you pay to do this?" I'm like, "No." She goes, "You're supposed to pay to do this." And I'm like, oops. So sorry. I said sorry to the guy, the kid. It was a kid. It was like, man. He's like, don't worry about it. He knew. He goes, "It was fun watching you." I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it was. I ripped that board off after about 30 minutes, and I was like, I'm never doing this again.
I've never tried snowboarding. I've been told that I'll spend the first day on my butt, and I
can't afford
I don't want
to
to use
that.
one whole day to try and learn.
If I spend the first day on my butt, I'm going to spend the next 3 weeks in the chiropractor's office.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, it's not happening. Back in the day, I used to cross country ski, but I like to run long distances too. So go figure. That's just kind of in my. They have snowshoe races. By the way,
I did not know that.
They have like ultra marathon.
Doesn't surprise me, but I know
they have racing snowshoes.
See there, you got a new sport now.
I don't know about that. I've got snowshoes in here somewhere. I don't know. I can't find them. Anyhow, we'll get back to guns. No one.
Well, I was going to tie in real quick at the beginning of your story there.
Biathlon.
You said your wife likes to have the kids get back up on the bunny hill, go check their fundamentals and whatnot. I mean, it applies to shooting.
It does.
I think last podcast or something you mentioned.
Slow down.
Yeah, slowing down and the martial arts tactics of building your fundamentals and building speed. So there's a little tie-in right there.
Yeah, and I have a lot of people that retake these shooting academies, right? And what do we start with? I don't care who. Even the elite group, which you're a part of, and we've met one time. And what do?
Draw and dry fire.
Draw and dry fire. I mean, you just have to, because there's some people that don't shoot a lot, but you have to always go back to the beginnings, right? And make sure those are solid. And besides that, it's dark out and there's nothing. It's cold outside.
Right.
So
yeah, I even like to hit a 50-50 drill every once in a while just to check in.
Well, it's just like warming up. Like I just spent some time with my 11-year-old son working out. We were doing bench press, right? And I go over there and I dial. I've got like an electronic machine thing that we use, and I dialed in the weight and I put. I'm not a big I'm working on it, right? I can't do a lot of weight yet. But I mean, I started, sat down and I had like 40 pounds on it. My son's like, Dad. I'm like, no, dude, you freaking warm up. It's called warming up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
I have to do it or I hurt. And I hurt myself. But it's just like dry fire. It's just like the fundamentals. You have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to run some. What do you think? Are you excited for the elite group, by the way?
I am.
I'm
very excited.
I'm freaking stoked, man. I'm writing out different. Like I scheduled our entire summer out almost already.
I dig it.
I mean, it's flexible, but I've scheduled some stuff out. We're gonna do a lot of time stuff.
Yeah.
Like the next time you guys meet, we're gonna like, I won't say qualify, but we're gonna set times for each of you. Yeah, it's gonna be draw. You know, what's your time to draw and fire? What's that time? Right. I'm gonna have you do it like, you know, like 4 times or 5 times, and we'll save your best time.
Set an average or
And
save the best.
Yeah, just save the best.
Kick out the best and the worst, and then keep the middle.
Or something like that. Do that, and then that's just draw, fire, get one on the board, right?
Yeah. Set
and
a
then
baseline.
then I'm gonna do another one where it's accuracy, right? Nice. And we're gonna revisit this like maybe halfway through, and then like at the end again, just to see.
Yeah, I like it.
And we're gonna time clearing the plate racks from draw. Everything we do in this class is gonna be from draw. Everything. Like
I'm excited to put some marks on those plate racks.
Yeah, my son beat you to one. He came out. My 11-year-old came out. Do you see that video?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out. He was super. Right now, I think they're frozen to the ground. But yesterday, they were in about 4 inches of water.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was talking with James after last class. Like we should move these and shoot them.
I would have heard, ba-ting, ba-ting, ba-ting. I would have heard the little pieces of lead landing on the roof. Well, I'm anxious to see if those things that I built, if they actually make it through the year. I put that front board on it as like a sacrificial board,
right?
So I could just take it off,
swap it out.
That's why those things are overbuilt.
That makes sense.
There's a lot of shielding on there that's not steel. Because
that's the problem with wood is it starts taking rounds and then it deteriorates pretty quickly.
So I had to weigh this out, right? So you're already shooting at steel, but like how much more of it did I want to be steel? Because if it's thin enough steel or wire or metal, you're gonna just shoot through it and break it, right? And it's like, do I want rounds? Even though I got stuff angled and I can angle stuff the right way, do I still want like rounds like being, you know, ricocheting off all different directions? Wood just seemed like the better choice to me.
Yeah, I think so too.
So it was an act of God for me to build those because I'm not a carpenter.
Well, they look good.
He did a good match too. They match. They're the same height. I was like, holy, how did I'll never repeat that again in my entire life.
You should have wrote it all down.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
There's a good start.
Something headed in the right direction. But what else? What would you like to see? I mean, I got planned out. What would you, in the elite group, what would you like to see? What do you think? Is there something you want to do?
I like when we run courses.
We're going to do courses.
And then that's adding the timed element, and you start adding the shot timer, stressor, that stuff to it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if there's a way to maybe incorporate some kind of a moving target or something that kind of adds another element of difficulty as we're moving through the course.
So let's talk about this. I had a moving target all picked out to buy, and I still may. It is... You see it. It's the one that you see. I don't know if you see it all over social media. It's that one that it's moving on that. Maybe you haven't seen it. Maybe it's just me. But I've thought about buying it, and I've checked out the reviews, and there's a lot of not so good reviews on it. So I'm really hesitant. Right. And let's be honest, though, I'm waiting for about a month before I purchase that because taxes. Yeah. I got to pay taxes first and see how much that's going to hurt me. But I don't know. It's like I don't know if I should buy it or not. And there's really only one system out there, unless you want to go and spend like $5,000, and I'm not doing that. Poke around. If you get a chance this week, poke around. If you find some moving target systems, send them to me.
Okay.
Because I have no problem looking. I would love to get something. This one set up to where it was like this big carriage type thing, and you'd actually controlled it with a remote, and you could program it to go.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and you could hang it. You have to like either tie it from trees or put stakes, and they use this paracord.
Okay.
And you string the paracord out and you set this whole carrier deal, these big wheels like on it. You like hook it on and it hangs there. And I'm going to knock this thing over. And then you hang a target from it.
Oh, that's interesting. You could hang a no-shoot from it too, so it comes flying through and you gotta.
Now I think I should buy it. My goal was I actually wanted to get. They got a fancier one and then they got kind of more of a basic one, and I thought about buying one of each. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. We got to get taxes done. I really want to buy it, but I'm just scared because you don't see it. It's like these tacky little like online type like commercials that you see that pop up on social media that advertise it, and you're like,
right.
Oh, I don't know about this. I just don't know if it's a waste of money or not.
Yeah, we can workshop it.
Something I'll figure it out.
The other thing I'm kind of excited to do is do some where we elevate the heart rate, or we we create a situation where we're tired a little bit and then we got to go through and draw.
Let's do this. We're just going to work out.
Yeah.
We're working out and then we're shooting. Like literally, this is the part I'm going to do this regardless of whether anyone actually wants, because this is going to be an added extra that I was going to put on, after the class is over, if I have time and don't have any other classes, and say whoever wants to stay can do this. But it's like I've ordered stuff. Like I ordered stuff yesterday. I ordered great big round sandbag. They look like big balls or like flat pancakes. Okay. I got 100-pounder, 70-pounders, and 35-pounders.
Wow.
Dude, well, we're talking like pick that up, carry it, drop it, go shoot, that kind of stuff, or pick them up and over the shoulder and drop on the ground. I mean, we're going to it's not just getting our heart rate up, dude. We're freaking just getting full-on workouts.
Get tired. I like it.
I'm really freaking excited about this. We talked about this last year, though.
Yeah.
About doing this. So I'm freaking stoked. I don't know. I tried to figure out what to call it. I don't know. It's carry fit, shooting fit. Carry fit is an actual, I don't know if it's trademarked, but someone's used that in the past. Huh. But yeah, I talked about shuttle sprints and shooting. Shuttle sprints and then pick up your gun and shoot. I talked about we can do
farmer
carries, with like plates or just heavy things. Even thought about just get some 5-gallon buckets and fill them like halfway full of like concrete, and just packing them back and forth. Thought about, and then everyone's going to kill me. Now I know that there's some people that might not be down for some of this, and that's fine. But I even want to do one where it's not super fast, because it's really hard to time these things, right? Maybe it's based more on accuracy, or I don't even know if I'll time this part of it, honestly, because we have different levels, right? But I even thought, like, let's jog down to the neighbors and back. Let's get the heart rate up. And if that means it's a slower jog, that's fine.
Right.
It's just learning how to do what? Control your breathing, settle your heart rate down, and put in a little exercise in there, right? Because we all could use it.
I need it.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. Like the neighbors and the farmers out here are going to think we're absolutely crazy. But I'm super excited. And I have the perfect place to do a lot of this stuff. This big square grassy area.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of room to get on the ground and not have to be in the brass and the gravel.
Oh yeah, because we're not doing that. That sucks. So here's another class I actually thought about trying to put together this year. And I was watching this. I mean, I've thought about this in the past, but I was watching at my kid's martial. I learned a lot going to watch his taekwondo. Don't worry about it. It's just what it is. Next time you do it, grab the spring right here, and it'll.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Rabbit trail. I learned a lot by watching this taekwondo, and so much stuff is relatable. Like they teach the kids how to fall, right? And one of the guys
I had to use that this morning.
Yeah,
I biffed it, and I managed to keep my chin tucked, so I didn't.
Did you jump back up? Look around to see who saw you?
Yeah, I know my neighbor saw me.
Did he laugh?
He might have. It was behind my truck at the time. So.
You're lucky you didn't take out the trailer hitch.
Ooh, yeah, no, that
would have hurt. So
anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But he was teaching them how to fall, and then he was also talking about how to protect themselves. Now James has come over and taught the kids class, the women's class, and he does a thing where he teaches them if they're on the ground, they use their feet, and then they can like turn themselves. But my thought was if that happens, if you're in a fight and you go down, how do you get to your gun and how do you shoot your gun? And I'm going to order a bunch of pads, and I'm going to put on the concrete floor out in the classroom. But you know those ones that link together like puzzle pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to get some different, learn some different moves and some different, things. And I want to teach that class. If you're on the ground, how do you get, and I thought, I got Sims rounds, but I could just go buy a bunch of airsoft guns too, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you practice it, you're just going to hurt yourself.
Yeah,
if you
that's
shoot
true.
yourself in the leg or the knee. I don't know.
Then you know.
Yeah, these are just thoughts that are going through my head. But how do you do that? How do you, how do you get to your firearm if it's an appendix carry and you're knocked to the ground? Like, what are some?
How do you earn
shoot
that draw?
Yeah, how do you shoot from the ground? And that's a whole other class in itself. But
that'd be interesting. That'd be kind of fun, actually.
it would be. I gotta just slow down and think about it. And I don't know. I gotta create it. It's a problem. I get going about 5 different directions. So, but hey, you've helped me in a lot of classes. Now this is something I want to talk about. Something I was thinking about. I always have deep thoughts about my classes a little bit. Like if I was a student and I showed up and took a class, like what would I want to see? How would I want to do this? You and Nick and James, you guys are great help. I mean, there's a reason why I have you guys come help with classes. You guys do a great job. I've never received any complaints or anything. They love you. You can tell because they turn around and chat with you, as they're leaving, right? I mean, they love you guys. And you guys do a great job. As an instructor, though, sometimes we have some bigger permit classes. Right. In fact, this next one, I hate to jinx myself, this next one might have closer to 30 people in it. Oh, wow. I say that and it never happens because people back out, but knock on wood, like we're hoping. I feel bad because you've been there before. The way we split everything up, I have a section, you have a section, Nick has a section, James has a section, and that's where we're there. So we're not wandering around. We're right there if someone needs our help. I feel bad sometimes because there are students there, and you can give me your thoughts on this and everything else that we talked about before, but sometimes there's a student there, like in my section, and you guys have probably experienced this as well, but like that needs a lot of help. And we're there to help that person. Like, I have no problem doing that. Some of them need a lot of help, but they also need a lot of reminding. Right. Right? And it's to try, why are we there? We want to keep them safe, and we want to keep everyone else safe as well, right? Right. Sometimes I get drawn in. Now, I get drawn into where I just don't leave that person's side. And everyone, you guys all kind of help out, we overlap and whatever we need to do, and that feels good. But I think about when I go to a class, and I've gone to a class before, and there's the instructor, and then there's the guys there helping, and the guys there helping are cool, but it's like, you signed up because, Masad Ayub was teaching the class. Like, I've gone to his classes before, and you want his feedback. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You want his help and, like, his feedback. Now, granted, this is a permit class, so it's a little different style, but I always feel bad. I always feel like I get sucked into helping one person, and I can't pay attention and give my attention to other people in the class who might want the instructor or value that. You guys are instructors too, but does anything I'm saying make sense? Yeah, I'm totally. I'm the guy. It's my business. I feel like I should be there helping everyone. And when I have to focus on someone else, I feel bad. I don't want that to rub off and go, well, God, he never helped me. Sure, Jeremy helped me, but man, I'm not special enough the instructor came over to help me. The instructor just stayed down with that one guy or that one gal. Hopefully they see why I'm doing that. Right. But I don't know. I feel bad, and I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? I mean,
even in our individual sections, like there are times where I'll get one person that I feel like I have to be there every time, or you're helping them reload every time because they can't quite reload.
You get focused. Yeah.
And then I start to feel where I need to kind of at least pay attention to some of the other people just within my own group. And then I usually have James or Nick next to me, and they'll overlap, but then they're usually...
We each get our people.
Yeah. And it's just, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens for good, and they're newer shooters, and they take the direction really well, and you can see them make improvements as you go, but you still kind of have to remind them. And then at the same time, I got to remind myself, like, all right, it's a permit class. It's not a like you and I have done beginners class before, where we really work on tightening the group, and we really specifically show those people.
This is an educational class, not a training class.
Yeah, and then you try to stress to them like, hey, if you want to get better, obviously dry fire practice on your own, but then you should take some more classes.
Yeah.
One thing, because they're informative and they'll make you a better shooter, but it's also pretty fun.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a class that I took, even the most basic, that I didn't think was at least a little bit fun. And you got the people that you got to kind of keep an eye on that just don't really accept the direction very well, and they're just gonna keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
and as long as you're safe and you're getting range, you're getting them down range on the paper.
And if you had those people, without getting specific, obviously, they kind of just look at you like, yeah, you can help me, and they just look at you while you're talking, and they don't nothing. They just reject it all.
Yeah, and they go back to doing what they're doing, and then you almost feel like you're wasting your effort a little bit. So
right, but then you also feel you need to watch them because, like, some of the stuff you're telling him is because it makes them safe.
Yeah, don't fish,
safe.
don't bowl, like
yeah.
keep it all downrange. And honestly, for the most part, I don't usually in my section. I haven't had an instance where people were being unsafe, so
yeah,
that's always nice. We tend to get a pretty good group, at least from what I can tell.
Oh, we always get good people in the class, and we just have our newbies, which is fine. Like I say, I'd rather the newbies come here than anywhere else. Honestly, I think we do. I'm just talking about my business here. I think all of us do a good job with brand new people, making them comfortable, keeping everyone safe. And so I think that's kind of what I base my business off of, to be honest with you. It's like it's part of my niche, right? And I'm okay with that. But man, I just feel like sometimes I wish, this is what I wish. And it's starting to see that more over the last year. Some of those people that are brand new, or I hate to say this, maybe a little older, and they struggle with some things, that they would take a beginner's class before they take the permit class.
Right.
And then that helps quite a bit when a person does that. Sometimes they don't do that, and that is fine. I'm just glad we get some people to do that, because can you imagine if we had like 5 not almost say brand new people that struggle listening, people that struggle remembering each time, and you just, that would be a mess.
We do get the occasional person that shows up that has never even loaded their magazine before.
It's not all bad.
No, it's not, but it does take a little bit of extra attention.
So here's the thing. So that's not all bad. Like I don't mind those people in class, and a lot of times they'll end up being a better shooter than half the class.
Right.
Because they listen. They don't have any bad habits, right? There's no preconceived notions on how to do stuff. And it depends on the person. I'm just going to say it because it's the truth. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, all different people take our class. If they're younger and they're brand new, they're really, really, really open. If they're older and maybe they have a little bit of, and you can correct me if you think I'm out of bounds with this. If they're older and they have a little bit of strength issues, and maybe they came because their husband wanted them here, and not that they are trying to be ignorant and belligerent in what they do, but they're not here because they want to be. Does that make sense? Is that fair?
Yeah.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah. That they're kind of,
yeah.
Their husband wanted it, and they've got the pink 38 revolvers.
Oh, God. Yeah. So many people hate those. I love, revolvers are okay. There's so many.
I love revolvers.
There's so many people, though, that when they bring them, they regret that notion. You know how many people have showed up, women have showed up with revolvers? I probably had a dozen at least over the years. And they're older ladies, older women, they bring these revolvers in, and they say, my daddy, and I'm not even kidding you, this is what they tell me. My daddy would roll over in his grave right now. He said women shouldn't shoot those semi-automatics. They should just shoot the revolvers. And then when you show them, and they're like, can you do this 90 more times? And they're like, no. I'm like, praise the Lord, because you're not hitting the target. You're scaring me, because the revolvers can be scary in the wrong hands.
Right. They
go like this.
They've got the long trigger pull,
and they push up on the gun. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone thinks they need to look down the sights. I had a person the other day with the revolver. Like, well, this doesn't have any this doesn't have any sights. That's what they told me. A thorn in my leg, sorry. In my pants. He goes, this doesn't have any sights on it. I'm like, no, it has sights on it. Just not, I mean, you're just using them wrong. So it has the sight channel. Right. But I don't think people realize that's an actual, if they're new, they don't realize that's an actual sight on the revolver.
Right.
They just see that front sight, which stands up like half an inch. And I think they think that is the sight, and they just put that. I'm like, that. Nope. You got to align it in that sight channel, and it can't be any taller than the sight. Oh, I can barely see it. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Revolvers suck. Well, they do. I mean, the sights on them are just horrible.
Well, especially the little snubby ones.
Yeah,
And they're rough. Even with 38, like it'll beat up your hand after a while, and it's not a ton of fun to shoot. Like it's got its place.
Yeah.
But I would rather shoot something that I'd rather carry something that I can shoot, that I enjoy shooting for one thing, because then I've practiced with it, and something I can reload quickly, and I have more than 5 shots.
Yeah, for sure. But how do we get on the revolver topic? The lady's coming in saying, and then I hand them a semi-auto, and they're like, my daddy would, and this is what they say, my dad, like they're Southern, my daddy would roll over in his grave right now if he knew I was shooting a semi-auto. He goes, she's like, there's too much going on with that. I can't learn. No, you can, and let me show you how much better it is.
Right.
And then by the end of the day, they're like, I think I need to buy myself one. I'm like, I think you do too.
Yep.
Now sell me your revolver for really cheap. I don't care if it's pink. So I don't know. We put on a decent class. I don't have any complaints. You guys help me out so much, but I always still feel a little bit bad.
I guess we could rotate. Throughout the class.
So
I guess
I thought about that, and I don't want to do that because we get about a quarter of the way through the class, and then we realize what everyone is struggling with. True. In our group, and we're helping them out, and they're progressing. Do you see what I'm saying? When I see someone shoot, I don't walk up to them and go, I mean, at least not the way I do it. I don't want to make them think they're doing everything wrong. Hey, your grip sucks, your trigger press is horrible, and I know you're not lining the sights up. Well, how would you feel if I told you that when you showed up to a shooting class? Like, it's going to be okay. Let's excuse me. Let's work on your grip. Okay, this is how you line the sights up. Okay, this is your trigger press,
slow
right?
Your trigger press down.
Yeah, and so I let him shoot a couple rounds and then add something else. And shoot a couple rounds. When I say couple rounds, like couple drills, and then add something else, and I build on it. So I've thought about trading like that. I thought about doing that. I was like, I don't know.
Right.
Some people get comfortable with one person as well. And
have you had any students that came out and said like, hey, I wish you would have
no, it's all in my it's all in my brain. Like it really is. It's all in my head, and I just worry as a business owner, right? As a guy that owns this, I just always worry what perception I'm putting out into the what that they take from here, and they go. And I want to think that it's relatively good,
right?
And I think it is. I'm sure it's not 100% perfect. I mean, there's always something I can improve on. But I always worry. There's other people that do this kind of thing in the area, right? And I always just worry.
Right. Well, and I think the proof is in the pudding a little bit. I mean, your classes are usually maybe once a month. We've got an average about 20 people in class.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You got to be doing something right.
No, but I think it's good to worry though.
Yeah.
I think it's good to worry.
You don't become complacent.
Yeah, I'm going to become complacent and just do it over. Now, I've thought really hard. I've talked to James about this and some other people about this. I still haven't done it. I thought about just revamping that entire permit class. I thought, maybe I mentioned it to you. I thought about, because in the state of Idaho, you don't really have to, there's no test, right?
Right.
And there's no and we get, everyone's relatively, I mean, most of them are hitting that piece of paper. Like, yeah, we have a few, but they're I would somewhat trust them, right? And so they'll be like good to go. They're like, there's no testing involved. There's no scoring of the targets. There's nothing. I actually thought about trying to up my class a little bit as far as up the, I guess I want to say make it seem a little more legit and try to drive people to take the class because I'm going to require something of them. I want to require them to be better. I want to require them to, and I don't know if that's put like a little, I won't say competition, but like put like almost a little qualifier in there, especially in the shooting portion. But then I also don't want to run people off because they're like, well, he makes us take a test.
Yeah, you don't want to like
but
gatekeep people,
right?
Because I
don't
like state-wise. You're still
state-wise. You don't have to, but I mean, and I don't know that so I got to figure out how to. I want to make people better.
right.
I want people to strive to be better. I want people.
What we usually, I mean, that's
Which is
kind of the mentality I like to take into even the permit classes. Like, all right, if I can make this person slightly better on their way out the door, then
How do I make them earn it? Do you know what I'm saying? Earn it. Be slightly, not just pay me money, but like earn it a little bit and say that, hey, look, like they got me to this point. I could come back and learn so much more.
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah, and I think
There's got to be a way to do. It's almost like you get people that want to come because they want to prove that they can do it. That's what I want. That's what I would like to foster. That whole mindset. I'm not going to show up, fire 98 rounds, fall asleep in class, and you know what I'm saying, and then leave. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I thought about it for like a long time, and I don't know the best way to approach it because I'm afraid people would immediately take it as, oh, well, I'm not going to go there. He makes us take a test. And that's not what it is. If you're going to carry a gun in public, like you should want to be good. You should want to be better. And I want to figure out how to foster that and get people to strive to do so. And if by taking my class, it doesn't gain them anything with the state, but by taking my class, they're like, they can say, I've achieved this. Not just getting my permit, I've achieved this. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think if I did it in the right way, I could drive more people to want to come and take my class. I know that seems that's a weird twist, isn't it?
Yeah, you could. I wonder if you could do something where the last 7 or 8 rounds or whatever, where you try and
I used to do
qualify you get like a significant discount on another class that you can come back and take and continue to build your skills or something. I don't know.
I got to put more. Someone said, hey, maybe I need to make challenge coins.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I have no idea where to get those things made. Who makes them? What do they cost? How do you do that? Like, where do you go for that? Like, you just type online challenge coin maker. I mean,
there's tons of websites that carry challenge coins.
Really?
So we started. That's something my GM at work, our divisional GMs, we started doing a challenge coin thing, and it just kind of a way to kind of build camaraderie, and then each position has a coin, and then every time you get certified, you get a coin. And and if you challenge somebody and they don't have their coin, they have to do a work related task.
So is that what a challenge coin is? Because there was a gentleman, a law enforcement officer I know here in Twin, and he went to Utah. And I guess I could ask him, but I guess I'm dumb. I don't really know what these are. But he went to Utah for some stuff for a family, and he said while he was up there, he got 3 challenge coins. Like how, like from he's a law enforcement officer, from like other law enforcement officers or police or what are challenge coins, and they work like what you just said, or
so?
I don't.
My
understand.
understanding, it comes from like the armed forces and that, and they get a challenge coin. My son just.
I saw
enlisted, and he got a challenge coin.
Congratulations!
Yeah, and basically, it's kind of the most common practice I think I've heard is if they're out at a bar or a function or whatever, and somebody puts their challenge coin down, everybody else has to reciprocate and have their coin, and the person that doesn't has to buy
a beer,
buy the round for the place, or buys dinner or whatever for the table, or however it works. I'm not entirely sure what else they do with them, but it's kind of I like stuff like that, little coins and challenge coins.
How do you collect challenge coins? This guy collected them from like 3 other people.
He might have challenged somebody and they didn't have their coin on them, and they had to go. It was in their car or something. And they have to go give them.
Like he could tell that they were law enforcement or some kind of first responder, and
yeah. Maybe.
If you
Or
lose your challenge coin, how do you get another one?
I'm not sure in that, especially if the guy's
No,
out
I'm
of
serious.
state.
I don't know how they. I don't know how.
There's home, or if they just gave him an honor, like, oh, hey, you're law enforcement. You were, you did this activity with us. Like, here's a coin from our
Right.
area. I'm
a
not
patch,
sure.
like a
Yeah.
patch or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a fascinating idea. So maybe. I've got all my other competitors are listening to this. I don't think they listen to this, but I mean, that's a good idea. Actually, give them something to earn.
Right. Something a little extra. That'd be interesting.
I'm thinking. I get on my bet. Say I'm going to pause here, and there'll be radio silence, dead air, as Todd's processing.
Because now the hamster's on the wheel.
Yeah, it's on the wheel. We can't stop it now because it don't get going that quick very often. But yeah, I'm thinking now. I can't think of anything else at this point. Your turn.
Back to the
Sorry.
instruction and the class thing.
Yes.
You could always spread the three of us out a little further, and then you maybe just are kind of oversee and walk up and down the line the whole time.
Yeah.
And give your input here and there, and that way everybody feels like they get to have some interaction.
Gotcha.
Because then we can still monitor safety and whatnot.
Well, because I break the classes down, honestly. I cut them in half as far as when we shoot anyway, just because it's safer.
Yeah.
And so I cut them down enough that, like, I think the last class, we only had like 2.5 people each guy.
Yeah, it was, I mean,
but
it was pretty
that,
nice.
But I think that's awesome, though. I mean, I think that's you think the students see a benefit in that?
I think so.
You think
I hope
they feel
so
like
anyway.
there's a benefit in that?
I think so.
I hope so.
Because they typically, you look down the line and
There's always someone there.
You see that. Well, not only that, but you see the piece of paper, and you see kind of where people started, and then if they end with a fist size hole in the middle, or even you notice that person has improved and gotten some help
better.
along the way.
So let me ask you this: is this something that me and James absolutely love to do? And it's weird. So, and you can when you have a gun and you have guns that you like. I like to let other people shoot my guns.
Yeah.
So usually it seems to be like the last half of the class sometimes, right? We like, here, you want to shoot this? Hey, and it's usually something that's kind of up there in price, right? Something that you might not get to, people might not get a chance to shoot, right? Something different.
Right.
Do you think that's a bad thing that we do that? Or do you think people remember that?
I think that they probably enjoy it. I mean, if
You
I
think
got
so?
to take a permit class that I was already like, just for
You're just trying to get your permit.
yeah,
You're
just trying
there
to,
shooting.
and then I get to shoot. I mean, when I took your permit class,
Did I let
way
you
back,
shoot something?
You let me shoot your VP9.
That was my baby at the time.
yeah,
It still
and
is, honestly.
When I had that stupid Hellcat.
I'm so
and,
sorry. I'm so sorry. You liked that gun when you showed up, though.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, I notice how you say liked it, because I don't really like it anymore. I mean, it's not any fun to shoot.
You enjoyed shooting that.
Yeah, I literally was shopping for a VP9 when my buddy Mike over at Rustic Rifle.
I've never met that guy.
He's a good dude. He's a lot like you, and as far as he wants to help everybody, and he wants to.
I do.
He treats people on an individual basis, not just a.
You're a number.
He sees you come in and he's like, "Oh, you're going to need a pink handled revolver," and
Yeah.
He tailors what he does to what the individual's looking for, and he's
good.
And he's really good at kind of finding whatever you want. But he turned me on to the shadow systems, and there's a lot of benefits there.
Well, there is.
I mean, just having holster and magazine availability, and parts availability that weren't there for. I mean, I can buy 3 PMags for the price of like 1 HK.
Oh
magazine.
no, they're a thing.
And so that was kind of what drew me in, was that it was a little more cost effective.
It was friendly. It was more friendly.
Yeah. Still thought the VP9. I still think the VP9 shoots awesome. I mean, they're good guns.
I want to get my hands on one of the A1s.
But yeah, I think so. Back to
it's okay. This is why you're here, man.
But yeah, I think if I took the class and like I got to shoot a freaking platypus, that's for one, not everybody has them. It'd be like if somebody handed you a staccato to shoot. Like, here's my $4,500 gun. Go ahead and run a few magazines through it.
Sometimes I feel like we're showing off, but it's mostly just I like people to have fun.
Right. And there are people that are super open to it, and then I think you're probably one of the best gun salesmen around, because as soon as those people start to shoot those, they start looking them up.
I can't even think about how many firearms. Last year alone, I had it was between the VP9 SK. That's what they call the SK, the subcompact one.
Okay.
The little tiny one, or whatever whatever that terminology is, and then the actual VP9. I bet you I didn't personally sell them, but I think I had like 6 people buy HKs last year.
Yeah,
that came through my class.
I would like to know the percentage of people that go and buy something else
because of me.
That they've got to shoot in our class.
So there's been a few times, even in like private classes, where they're like, "I want this gun," and sometimes they're like, I hate to say it, and I don't do this all the time. There's been a few times I'm like, "Give me your phone, pull your phone up. Okay, this is the gun," and they're like, "Oh," just so they have it. Like, this is the gun.
Right.
Go look for it, and they're like, "I want to buy it now." I was like, "Oh," and he's like, "Help me." And so they actually order it right there and have it shipped to their FFL.
Oh, man.
Like right here in class. I'm like, man, I need a piece of that. Like, I really need a piece of that. Maybe I need to team up with Mike.
I was just going to say,
I've never even met that guy.
You need an FFL of your own and just have it shipped here.
That's so much. I don't know if they would allow me to have an FFL without an actual brick and mortar store. I think they cut down on that. Yeah, I don't know. They're really
sitting in the building right now.
I'm just waiting for them to just burn the ATF to the ground.
Yeah, there you
go.
Then
I can do what I want.
Brendan Herrera takes over, and
he doesn't even to take over. They just need to shut it down.
Right.
Like they've got that authority to do so. They just need to shut it down.
Well, before that happens, they need to take some steps though, because there are certain laws that are still going to be enforced, and those enforcements are going to move to other departments.
Sure.
And so they either need to do away with those laws or walk them back and get rid of them so they don't, because then you go from the ATF, which is a relatively small department.
Yeah.
They have X amount of people, and if it goes to like the Department of Justice or someplace like that, there's a lot more people that could enforce those and then start to make things worse for us. So
possibly, yeah.
So I'd like to see them do away with most of the ATF and the NFA and all that.
Just honestly, all that stuff being in business, being open, existing, is a violation of our Second Amendment rights.
True. So, the firearms part of the ATF can go away, but the alcohol and the tobacco, there are certain things that are actually helpful for my industry.
Shut it down, rebuild.
Yeah, there you go.
Shut it down, rebuild, and just do away with the whole ATF thing.
Right, and they've got the
A&T,
ADC.
ass and tits. Oh, sorry.
Now yeah, where do we apply for that?
Yeah, exactly. Jeez, I hope I didn't offend anybody. So, I don't know. There's lots of wild stuff going on right now. So, one more question, real quick. These new guns that have come out, like what is there one that's tickled your fancy? They talk about them and they're not available for the next 6 months, but
right.
What are you waiting to get your hands on possibly? Is there a purchase that you're looking at possibly? I got a list, but
I've got some stuff I'd really like I'd like like your tactical lever action. I'd like one of those, but I don't.
One.
It's not a necessity necessarily.
No, I'll get one. I'm getting one.
I messed around with that the new Daniel Defense pistol, the DD9.
I
messed with one of those, and it was sort of interesting. I guess they took over. You ever heard of the Hudson?
Yeah.
So that's where
I know someone who's got one.
Their design came from it's got the lowered bore axis and that. And I'd like to shoot one and just see if it's, if there's a different recoil impulse or anything like that. They're a little bit spendy, but I'd like to
price of
add,
guns, sir, has gone up.
That's true.
You got to be
It's
up. You got to
unfortunate.
be up in the $800-900 range or higher to play.
Look, you're preaching to the choir over here. Like, I know.
Like you got to be there to play.
I usually spend about $1,000 on a gun.
That's entry level anymore.
Yeah, that's before you put the red dot and the light and
that is
holster it. And
yeah, that is entry level. So what else you looking at? Anything else?
I wouldn't mind getting my hands on like a 2011 style.
There you go.
The platypus, the staccatos.
I think you need a platypus.
They're pretty smooth.
They're super smooth.
I just, you know how much ammo I can buy with the cost of that.
Yeah, but you know what?
And I really like to shoot.
No, I know, but man, once you get a platypus, dude, I'm serious. They are.
Well, then I'm going to want to carry it, and then I'm going to have to put a red dot on it, and I'm going to put a holster.
That's okay. The red dots are cheap compared to the platypus. Red dots are cheap.
That's true. I'm waiting on my.
That's like holster money at that point.
waiting on a holosun to come back to me. I had to send in for some warranty work, so.
Oh, they're just going to send you a new one.
That's what I'm hoping for.
You won't see it. See, Monday, that's not a mail day, so.
Yeah, and I sent it off about a week and a half ago, so.
You'll get it. You'll get it back. So, cool.
And then I got to come out and re-verify 0, so.
Just let me know. You know how to do, you got the option as long as it's not being used. And I'm here to, actually, I don't even have to put the dogs up anymore. I just let them run around as long as you don't come into the yard.
Yeah, they're good dogs.
The dog that barked a lot or didn't like the gun is dead. So don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So I still want to get my hands on the CC9. I really do. And you guys gave me so much freaking crap about it, and I don't even care. I want that new little Kel-Tec. But let me talk.
I don't like the fact that you can't detach the magazine.
No, but let me talk about this. For me, like I'm all about. You've heard me, purpose-driven guns.
Right.
Right. That honestly, that would be my new running gun.
Yeah, I mean 5.7's pretty sweet round.
I mean, think about it. It's thin. It's really light.
Right.
And it's better than the stupid Kel-Tec I already have, that P380, that
Yeah.
P380.
I'll give you that much
PT380
for sure.
So, I mean, for me, that would be perfect, honestly.
As long as it's reliable, I guess.
Well,
That'd be my
but
only-
it's so cheap, I'd buy it just to find out.
True.
I mean, it's cheap. It's like $400, but compared to anything else, I'd buy
Ammo,
it.
I don't know what 5.7 is running right
You
now.
know, I
feel
just
like
think
it's
for that purpose of a gun, it's not something I carry, but for that, that'd be perfect. It'd be light. It would be thin. I'd make a little holster for it in my holster room. I put it in that'd be perfect.
right.
That would literally be perfect. I mean, the one I carry right now jams all the freaking time.
And you don't carry a reload. So
No, I
it's
don't.
fine.
And I've only got 5 rounds in that baby. So, I mean, this is like.
And it's 380, so I compare that to 5.7.
That's what I'm saying. So, do you see my urge to
I
purchase one?
I understand the argument for sure.
I'm not like trading out my carry gun. I'm not going to. No, it's not taking the place of my P30.
No.
So, but it'd be a great gun for that stuff. I plan on doing a lot of stuff. And I'll carry a bigger caliber for this, but I plan on doing a lot of hiking, running to lakes with my kid this summer. And so, I want a little bit more of a reliable gun.
Yeah, I don't.
As far as
don't blame you there.
reliable caliber, right? It's still a Kel-Tec. And as much craziness as Kel-Tec is, Kel-Tec is crazy.
They do some fun stuff.
They are
for sure.
wild. And they think outside the box, and I think that's what I love about them. They're just a weird little company.
Yeah.
And so have you ever shot the PMR 30? Dude, so much fun. 30 rounds of 22 mag in that baby.
I don't think I've.
Have you ever handled one?
I don't. Well, Mike's had a few come through the shop that I've messed with, but I've never.
Dude,
I don't
whenever
remember what they are.
Whenever I would go hunting, I'd carry it on my hip, and I'd take long shots at coyotes with it. It was just fun.
That's awesome,
Dude, it's I'm gonna say you right now, super, super accurate, loud as hell. I mean, just crack it hurts, but man, is it accurate, and they're fun to shoot, and it shoots a ball of fire like you wouldn't believe.
That's always fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. But well, hey, I think that we will go ahead and wrap this up. So I think it was a good conversation, a little bit better than my usual. It's nice to get someone else in here.
Yeah.
And I noticed I waited till football season was over
Right.
Because I knew Sundays is, and I don't mind doing them on other days, but Sunday's typically the day I should save it for the last minute because that's what I do. And I knew that you would probably be free.
Yep, I absolutely was. If you'd asked last weekend, I'd have been already 2 beers deep.
I was like, that would have made for a good podcast. I should. You know what I should have done is I should have called you and Nick, and you guys could have been watching the Super Bowl together, and you guys could have we could have just put it on speakerphone, and we could have done a podcast that way.
that'd be interesting.
That'd be pretty exciting. But I figured we had snow, so there's no golf, and football was over.
Yeah.
So
I was literally doing no plans today.
Did I wake you up when I sent you that text?
No.
I didn't know when you get up, so.
Well, I slept in a little bit.
Well, that's okay.
I'd woke up actually at like 6 or so, and then
I almost texted you at 6.
managed to get back to sleep.
And I was like, I would probably wait till 8 at least. So anyhow, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And
Definitely.
The next time I probably see you,
Saturday.
We'll be on this coming Saturday. That's right. I say it's soon. So you guys might be, bring some waiters.
Yeah, we might be shooting in the snow or a lake.
We'll figure something out. We'll figure. Yeah, you guys are hardcore. Like I tried to give everyone. I know I looked like the biggest pansy on the planet when I was texting you, the group text. Like if it's cold, I just want you guys to have a good time.
Right.
You guys are like, nope. I'm like, okay.
Well,
Nick's
how often do you get the opportunity to?
I get it.
To go shoot in poor conditions.
Dude, I get it.
And you never know when you're going to need.
As an instructor, I just have to give you the option.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay, I will talk to you later. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.